Just want to make sure this video is doing right. I'm just working this out, trying to. I want to make sure I can see it. All right, family, let me know you guys can hear me and all. I need to edit this. It's not actually called breaking the cycle, so give me a moment if you guys are on. What's up, Tatum? Okay, I can see you guys are on. All right, so just give me a moment, y'all. Let me work with this thing. Hope everybody's doing well. Peace. What's up? What's up? What's up with everybody? What's up with y'all? Good day. Good day. Greetings, DeWanda. Peace, Tatum. Peace, Candace. You guys just hang tight. I'm trying to. Okay, I think I can see. I think I'm seeing it. Bear with me. Share the video, please. Share it to your YouTube right now if you don't mind. Share it to your, not your YouTube, but your Facebook. Share it, please. Share the video, like the video while I get this ready. Ricky's going to be on with us today, family. All right, family, just give me one moment. I'm working with this. And you guys can hear me pretty good. I want to make sure you guys can hear me well. Let me know that you can hear me well. Yeah, we can. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So, guys, today we're talking about, we're calling this show the Rebirth. Obviously, we haven't done the live in terms of a podcast and the Truth Factory podcast since it's been about a year. It's been since I had the surgery, and Ricky was carrying the show for a long time. I know you guys remember Ricky, of course. I think I posted a post this morning that that is crazy to remove that post. That's unreal. I'm trying to get back to it where it did that, but I put a post up today showing these children being hung from crosses. It's like ceremonial type stuff that we do in religion, and they removed the post. Look, guys, it says it's graphic. Trying to see if I can get it to show up. Y'all see the arrow? Y'all see the yellow arrow on this post here, right? They said the post goes against community standards on graphic violence, and no one else can see it. It's crazy because I said through our beliefs, we subject our children to the worst physical and psychological treatment, and we call it beautiful. Imagine being a child, new to this reality. How confused and afraid would this make you feel? How confused would this make you feel being a child new to this reality, right? It says your parents and the people that you trust tying you up and displaying you in front of people for religious entertainment and photos while you cry. Eventually, the indoctrination begins to stick, and we begin to subject ourselves and eventually our own children to the same crap, and we call it tradition. And some of y'all wonder why we can't let go of this crap. It's manipulation with a pinch of Stockholm syndrome. This is what I said, and they took this post down, said that it's against community standards. But listen, man, these are children that's put on a cross. We do this all the time in our ceremonies. Like we do this all the time because people do this stuff because they love this fictional character so much that they love the. When we see manger scenes all the time, I even played Jesus once. In my church, I played Jesus. I carried the cross to the altar with my shirt off. Right? They had my body made up like it had whips on it, and I pretended to be hung on a cross. I literally played Jesus in a play before. Like as an adult, I was probably 25. That is crazy. That's crazy. They always, man, messing with something. I hate that, man. Anyway, guys, I'm just waiting on Ricky to hit me up so we can get ready to get this show going. I don't want to say too much. I want to wait till Ricky comes on before we really get into the heart of everything. But just give me a moment while I guess, continue to get this ready. That's crazy. Facebook threw me off because as soon as I logged on, I wanted to share this video, and of course, that's what I have. That's what I end up seeing. So give me a moment. Let me go ahead and do what I originally meant to do, guys. Forgive me. Give me a moment, family. Give me a moment, family. You dang right. That's why, man, please, guys, go ahead and just join the Be Evolution app. When that thing gets ready and right, we're going to be able to do everything we do in that app that we do here and Facebook and all that stuff. So just be patient with me while I get there. That's a $1 billion app. So, just give me a minute. But as long as we can interact with that, we don't have to worry about having our information and the information we're trying to get to our family and friends out there taken down, or just information that we use to enlighten each other. It's sad that somebody says it's messing up our community. Like obviously it's gonna mess with your community standards because your standards are geared to appealing to ignorant people. You know what I mean? So of course the majority is gonna have their way because they don't want to hear anything that's gonna challenge them. They don't want to be challenged, man. All right, so Ricky's ready. Let me get this going. Hang on, guys. All right, cool. I was just texting you. I was like, dang, bro. All right, hang on, family. Let me get Ricky set up here. Just hang tight, family. I'm just trying to get Ricky set up here. And I am struggling with a K. Struggling with a K. Give me a minute, Ricky. It was easy a while ago. I had this thing. Okay, I think I see it. Okay, never mind. I got it. It's expanding you totally. What's going on with you? So, guys, please just hang on. We're going to get this thing right. It's like shrinking your whole box, but I got it. I guess that's close enough. Let me just transition you. All right, you guys can see Ricky, correct? And then you guys can see me as well. Okay, cool. There's Ricky again. Okay. All right, so could you guys see Ricky and hear Ricky? Yes, yes, Ricky, talk for him.
Mike says, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
Go ahead and talk to him for a minute, Ricky. Just respond to some comments. Let's make sure they can hear you. Yes, we see
Yeah,
both.
actually, I'm going on the YouTube right now, man. So I'm actually trying to get it up because it's got me logged in under a different login, man. So I'm gonna change it here real quick.
Okay. Why is it? Okay, okay. I got you. You got a screen share on or something. That's your screen.
You seeing my screen, bro?
Yeah, I see your screen. I see somebody's screen. It's definitely not. Yeah. I just transition it to me while
That's
we do
your
this.
screen. Like you can't. I don't have on screen share, bro. Like,
Ricky, we're looking dead at a screen right now. Now it's not a screen. So you obviously just did something and switched it back. Quit being weird.
hold on, man.
Tell us, oh,
No, no. Like, listen, bro. You use OBS?
yes.
Like, bro, like I ain't use no screen share, man. Like,
For some reason, we were seeing the screen though. Y'all didn't see the screen?
listen. Oh, are you doing like window capture? If you're doing window capture, like whatever screen you have selected, it's gonna show that screen. I don't have on screen share on my
Ricky, they're saying that you are low. Um, I
let me
think I
see.
see what it is. It definitely is screen share. That was my fault. Family, give me 1 second. Ricky, you're correct. You are correct, my friend. Okay. There we go. And then here's Ricky. Now, Ricky, say something.
Hello, everyone.
Did that bring him back in, family? Let me know.
Never telling you what to think, just as how we start thinking.
Family, hang on 1 second, Ricky. See
All
something.
right. No, you good, brother.
They're still saying your volume is low. He's still low. Okay.
Let me see. Can you? Well, oh man, like if you use an OBS, man, it's probably you probably gonna have to manipulate the volume on what's coming in. There's like a few different volumes there on that OBS, so
I
it's
see
probably
one
gonna.
desktop audio and then mic audio.
Yeah. It'll be difficult. Like, which one is moving right now when I'm speaking?
Desktop audio.
Desktop. Okay, so you probably gonna have to turn that one up.
I just did it. I just did.
But
Okay,
not
so
too much because it's probably gonna start echoing. You know what I mean?
yes, sir. I'm still watching for their comments. Let's see. Let me know, guys, if that helped any. I did just turn Ricky up some. Ricky, if you don't mind, let's test the mic.
Hello, family. Good day. Hope you guys ready for birth.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, nice. Okay, good. Y'all, he's good. Great, great, great. Fantastic. Okay, cool. So let's see here. Ricky, I wonder what do I do to make it where it will change when you talk to show your camera, so I don't have to go back and adjust it to show me or you. Ricky, you there? Ricky, look, y'all. Ricky done got gone. Ricky has left the call. Ricky has left the building. Okay, so maybe I have to call Ricky back. Give me 1 second, family. One second. I am very sorry. We're gonna get this right though. If anybody's really good with this stuff, let me know, and we'll try to get you out. Get in touch with you, see if you want to help out with, helping out with this show, so we can make sure it's right for everyone. Because I would have really loved to have been going in by now. Calling Ricky back. Okay, what happened, brother?
I don't know. Like, did we get disconnected?
No, I just lost you. I think I'm still good with people online. Let me find out. Yeah, online, you guys are still here. We good. We just lost Ricky. Ricky disappeared, absolutely. So, we got you back now, man. So let me just transition. All right, hang on. You changed your camera and how it's set up?
Well, yeah, I'm on my phone now, bro.
Okay,
I
yeah, it
was on
shows
the laptop.
Okay, it just shows a different photo. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to go back to the laptop?
It showed a complete picture like that, but it doesn't really matter, man. As long as they can still see you, I think they're good. Y'all let Ricky know. Are we good? Did you guys like the other view better? I don't think it really matters as long as they can hear the content.
Right, yeah. Nobody wants to see my ugly face anyway, bro.
But they're looking right at you right now, so
yeah,
they're gonna have to deal with it. Let me see if I can just put it like this, and it'll just work. Because you say you don't really mind if they see you or not. So let me switch this thing around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Me, and then see here.
I don't matter, bro. Like, you ain't gotta see my face.
Okay, Rick, let's see here. Okay, cool. We good, family. Hey, Ricky, speak up. Let's see if they can hear you even without you being on camera, because I'm just nervous. I don't want to get too deep.
Okay, yeah. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Mic test.
Y'all hear Ricky pretty clearly? All right, so listen, family. Y'all saw it's been a while, right, since we went live like this in this way with a set time. We're going to start doing this live at 10 o'clock. We're shooting for on Sundays, but we want to make sure it's good with you guys. So let me know, family, really quickly. Is it? How do you guys feel about us going live at 10 o'clock in the morning on Sundays versus going live in the afternoons on Sundays at 8 o'clock like we've been doing? Thank you very much, LeSean. I really appreciate that. That's what's up. LeSean. So let me know, family. I'm gonna watch for some comments really quickly. We got 75 watching right now, and just let me know between you guys right now watching. How do you guys feel about that? 10 o'clock Sunday morning. That's a time where a lot of people get up and they go to church anyway, so you're used to that. I'm certainly used to that. We can get up and get it going, or late 8 o'clock. Can't do a.m. So most of y'all already set for the night. Okay. Southern Boss Lady said 7 o'clock. Okay, so we got one person so far that says early is cool. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. Sunday 10 is cool. Because my thing is, if we do it at 10, people will be able to go back and watch it in the afternoon. They wouldn't be able to be live, but we could get more people to be able to view it during that day. And being that that's a day that people normally are into religion, we'd like to kind of get started early and maybe be available for more people to hear it. For those of you that said 10 was a good, what if we went to 12? Just let me know. The people that, because so far a lot of people were saying 10 is fine for them. Let me know for those of you that said 10 is not good, would 12 be good? Because we can go either 10 or 12 or just keep it like 7 or 8. But we want to make sure we can, do it whenever most people will be able to watch. And guys, let's not forget, if you guys are like football watching people and stuff like that, we can get this out of the way before your first game even starts. So you don't have to worry about us going live and missing your Sunday night game or whatever. So I know a lot of you still watch sports and stuff like that. So noon works.
Yeah, a lot of y'all still in the sports religion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Facts.
playing.
No, in entertainment, let's just say entertainment religion, period, man. We know that the gladiator games keep us company, keep us happy because we live it is a messed up world we live in. And a lot of times we reach outside of us to be entertained just to kind of get a relief from the mundane, from getting on that hamster's wheel every week. The only thing that helps us keep it up to be able to go back and do it all over again is a good football game, I guess. I used to be there, so I know what you mean. So some of us definitely still caught up in the entertainment religion, the reindeer games.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm
it's
seeing you guys 10 or
cool.
12 is cool. So that's probably what we're going to be leaning to, family, just so y'all know. Probably going to be leaning to around 10 or 12. I won't harp on it. We'll just overlook this. We'll just review this, of course. Let us know throughout the week as we post more videos, go live again, and we'll weigh it again. But right now we're thinking between 10 and 12, something like that. All right, cool. All right, so listen, we're calling this show The Rebirth. This is going to be episode 1. So we're going to call this season 2 of the Truth Factory, episode 1. So you'll see that adjusted in the title before we end up finishing or whatever, or after we finish or whatever, The Rebirth. So Ricky and I thought we'd talk about some things that were pertaining to rebirth. And Ricky, if you don't mind, tell us what rebirth would mean to you.
Give me a second, man. I'll respond to one of these comments real quick,
No
man.
problem. No problem. So
Well, yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and answer the question, man. When you talk about like being reborn, it just to me, it's just that like you're basically becoming even what like most of the religions, most of the religious books, they all point to some type of death and then some type of resurrection. So even most predominantly most of us came out of the Christian religion. It points to that. Like even in baptism, it says the old man is crucified. So you're buried in his death. So you may also are risen in the likeness of his resurrection. So it's like you become a new creature. You become a new person. The transforming and the renewing of your mind, changing the way you think, changing the way you do things. So I just look at the development of a child, of a small infant. So whatever that development is, if they're developed in a negative environment, if they, I guess, take on bad habits, if they are taking on good habits, that is going to show up, later on in their life. And it all starts with their development. So when you become reborn, you actually have to redevelop yourself. You have to change maybe your discipline, your financial habits with spending. So whatever those things were that put you in a particular environment, you have to do away with those things, and you have to change your behavior. So rebirth in that aspect, that's what it means to me. That's what comes to mind when I think about just being reborn in that aspect.
okay, Rick. Okay, dope. Okay, let me see here. I think I got this down now. I think I can figure this thing out here. All right, so It makes sense. Okay, great. Just want to see what the people thought about that. Okay, so I think about rebirth in a lot of the same ways. I think of it like it's a new reality for you. And like Ricky said, a lot of things are going to change when you go into a new reality. There's a new way of observing the world. If we went to a new world, if you went to a new planet right now, you'd want to, you probably couldn't do things according to the rules you live by now, especially if you went to a different system of thinking. Like if there's some countries that if you wave at them, they consider it derogatory because they look at it like you're sticking them a birdie, a simple wave, simply because of how they're raised. So if you moved into that paradigm, you would essentially be reborn into a whole different culture. And I guarantee you, 5 or 10 years later, you would have learned not to wave at people. And you probably would begin to start feeling some kind of way about it, especially if people in that country waved at you when they were trying to offend you. Just because you knew what they meant by it, you would eventually begin to care about what they do. We do the same thing with the word thought, right? When it started out, it wasn't derogatory at all, and now we'll be ready to fight over that word. Um, so I look at it like, when you go into a new reality or you're reborn, you're letting go of all the things that you had into your old reality. Some people look at being reborn as another way of saying reincarnation, and I'm okay with that. Even if you're looking at it as a concept, because if you reincarnated, you so to speak left your old life wherever you left it, and this is a new life. So you have to recognize that this is a new life. This is a rebirth. You can't bring things from your old birth to your new birth. This is a new reality. So you have to understand it with the new tools that you have, using the new tools that you have to understand reality. We left the old way of thinking when it comes to belief. We identify with things that sounded good, that the majority appealed to. And then now in hindsight, we realize that appealing to majority was a fallacy. And because everyone agrees with something doesn't make it true. We all say we live in 2019, and I think we know that's not true. So that can't be the way to go. And in this old reality, we dealt with belief because it sounded good, believing that we go to a heaven, fearing that we went to a hell, believing that you'd see your loved ones again, or if you run around the church 3 times, that God will bless you with a car. Whatever it may be, we placed our faith and hope into these things. And if you're in a hard situation, you probably had hope that it would change due to praying to this belief. Now, in this reality, you realize that identifying with something just because it sounds good isn't good enough, and you'll probably end up falling flat on your face. We need demonstration. You need to challenge yourself on everything before you subscribe to it. So this is a new reality. So a lot of people ask, what do you do when you walk away from religion, and how do you apply new reality to your life when it is the same world? So the only thing that's changed is you. So what do I have to change in order to have my perspectives change? And so that's some of the things we're going to be talking about today. What differently do we do whenever you are reborn? What's the differences? So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to take a moment to read some of your comments. Tell me some of the things that if someone asks you, hey, listen, I've been in religion for a while. I recently left. I was a churchgoer, all this good stuff. You know, um, what's the first step I take into not being religious anymore? Like I get it. Jesus never existed, and while that breaks my heart, I can deal with it. I just don't know what to do with my life anymore. Like, how do I think now? I don't pray. I don't go to church, obviously. What would I do? So give me some comments, family, on what's some advice you would give to someone on what they do with their life. How do I think differently about sex? Because obviously we're taught the moral side of sex before we even know what sex really is. So it's a guilt trip whenever you think about sex. You feel like a whore if you're a woman, right? You feel whatever the case may be. We have all these identity things that are tied to sex. So if you're not religious anymore, then how do we view sex? How do we view our health? How do we approach life now? And then most of all, how do we unlearn those other things, the old things that keeps us from doing these things? And then we're gonna go into a little bit of tradition to end it off. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the comments, see what you guys are saying. I asked you guys, what advice would you give someone? So let's see here. I see Yolanda said it's amazing how I look at things, look at everything differently now. I understand. I'm the same way, Yolanda. Duwanda said I'm good either way. Unifier says once you start to look at yourself, then you will start to see the needs changing about you. I agree. I agree. All right, study herbs and natural healing. Okay, there you go. So he's speaking more to the health. I really appreciate that, Slow Stroker, for the comment, for the suggestion. Study herbs and natural healing. Get out of just believing that pharmaceuticals are the best way. We do this too. We lean towards pharmaceuticals, versus trying to figure out what would make us, what would actually cure the problem. And most of the time, that's just going to be something that, numbs the symptoms, not necessarily cures you. So when it comes to health, you're absolutely going to have to change that, change what you put in your body in terms of how you heal yourself. But diet's number one, too, right? Let's see here. Introspection. That's a great one. Let's talk about that for a moment. Tatum said introspection. Instead of reaching outside of yourself to someone outside of yourself, Tatum suggests doing introspection. So let me bring Ricky on. I'm gonna ask him what he feels about that. Hang on one second. Ricky, introspection. Looking inside instead of out as a person who's walking away from religion, how do you feel that will be productive in somebody's life? Do you feel it will be productive or counterproductive?
Well, I feel like it's it's productive because if you look at the nature of how things work, it's always predicated on what you're able to do. So when you have it in your mind that you can't accomplish something, and I know we hear a lot of famous quotes and people, we repeat information and things that someone says, but and then a lot of the times those some of those things are true, and that's why they're repeated so often, and they're so profound. But when it says that if you believe that you can do something, or if you don't believe that you can do something, you're right either way. Okay. And then also that goes in line with what the book says, because so many of us have come out of religion, like, and that's why I say I don't, if you take the Bible literally, then you're doing yourself a disservice. But there's some things in there that you can just philosophically apply and it works. Okay. I think that's where Jesus says, if you don't believe, you're condemned already. So that goes in line with that quote. It's not the same quote, but he's saying, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe that you can accomplish something, you're basically dooming yourself already. So I think that's what it means by when it says, that's the first element, the belief and the trust and the confidence in yourself that you can do anything it is that you need to do. That's in regards to everything in your life, whether it be if you're battling cancer, you have to believe in yourself that you know what, I can do this. I'm not gonna die. I know cancer has killed 75% of the people that have been diagnosed with this particular form of cancer. I'm going to be among the 25%. You see what I'm saying? So when you talk about introspection, or introspective viewpoint or way of looking at yourself, it all starts from within, and how you view yourself, your self-worth, your self-confidence. All of those things are going to be major components of you being able to accomplish anything in your life, no matter what it is. You're trying to invent something, your relationship with your family, your health, all of those things are going to start with your ability to be able to say, you know what, I know I can do this. I'm 300 pounds. I know I can lose 100 pounds, or whatever your fitness goals are. Everything is going to start with you.
I like that, Ricky. And someone was saying, how do you even begin to do that? So one of the things I say for you guys, family, Miss J said, have them actually begin thinking for themselves and question everything. And someone earlier than that, they said something that I really liked. They said that you have to begin to question everything that you practice since birth. And I'm looking for the comment so I can accredit it to you, family, but I'm not seeing it. But it said if you look at your life since birth, and just begin to yes, Becky Smith, study the history of no, that's not okay. Study the history, that's not it. Sorry about that, Becky. Someone said that let's see here. I wanted to find you. I'm sorry, I wanted to give you the credit, but basically it said that look back to the things that you practice since your birth. A lot of the things you practice since birth was taught to you. So just begin to question why it is that you do what you do. Why do you believe what you believe? That's always a good question. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself. Don't say why do I do this? Why did I think that's so? Why do I think that's okay? Why do we practice in this way? Because it's through these type of questions that'll help you really wake up, help you really look at the system, look at the program that you're taught, and then you can question it. From a better viewpoint than just looking at it from the outside in or from the inside out. Yeah, again, introspection is key because if you don't question yourself, you don't really know what you believe. Like this is the thing. And Ricky, I know you've been there and seen this. Have you ever asked someone to explain, why it is that they believe in something, why they subscribe to something, and they literally cannot explain it? And the kicker is they're just now beginning to learn that they can't explain it because they've never been asked to. And basically what happens is it comes out in frustration and anger because they can't explain literally why they believe in something. And you can just tell they haven't put much thought into why they believe. They haven't tried to demonstrate their beliefs to see if they were real. It was just something that made them feel good, or either that was a majority type of belief. You know what I mean? Have you saw this?
Oh, yes, sir. I see it. I see it quite often. And I understand it because I've I do quite a bit of reading in regards to religion and just a lot of other topics. So I have a clear understanding of how a lot of these things came about. But someone who doesn't have the information or who never even thought about certain things, I can understand why they will be confused. But real quick, before I get too deep into that, I want to kind of go back to what somebody put in the chat. I'm sorry, if you know who you are, I didn't get the name. I'll kind of go back and get it later. But he says, thinking for yourself and start judging yourself. When you have when you take that inner look at yourself and you believe in yourself, you hold yourself accountable. Okay. You don't have anyone else to blame for when things go wrong. This is one thing with
My
me.
bad. Tamar Tucker. Thank you for that comment. Tamar Tucker was who said that,
It was
guys.
Tamar. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. It was Tamar. So when you have someone else to blame, that's we have the tendency to do that. Okay, this it's not my fault. You didn't do this right, and that's why things didn't turn out the way that it was supposed to do. So I always look at my role in anything that happens. Okay, if my job fires me, I'm like, did I really it wasn't did I do what they say I did to lose my job? You see what I'm saying? So like no matter what happens, I'm gonna look at it and say, okay, what was my role in this situation and what could I have done better to have a different outcome? Okay, could I have done something differently which would have gave me a different outcome? And then if that's so, and in most cases it is, I have to take responsibility for the situation. Okay, and that's I've always been that type of person. So I guess some of these challenges that a lot of people deal with coming out of religion, letting go of God, I guess because I am so independent and I'm so critical of myself that I don't really have these issues. But another thing I want to kind of quickly touch on is just also when you have to not be afraid to think about certain things. Like when you talk about people encountering people and asking them where did you get these ideas from? Why do you think the way that you do? And they've never thought about it because you're in religion, your thoughts are guarded. Okay, when it says gird up the loins of your mind. Like it's like you can't even think certain things. You see what I'm saying? Like you like, oh, can't think that. But
Mm-hmm.
me being a thing, and your thoughts are legitimate. You have legitimate thoughts and legitimate questions. But when you are trained to not question and to not think about certain, to not even, I guess, entertain certain thoughts, then how can you ever broaden your perspective on anything?
I agree. I feel like as long as we looking at it from the inside out and not willing to look at it from a different perspective, we won't know how to do it. We won't know how to navigate our lives until we actually step outside of it. Just think, man, if a culture grows up and they're taught since a child to stone people, they'll probably be desensitized to that, right? They may actually think that that's okay because they've seen it their whole lives. You've got people who kings, people who grew up calling themselves royalty, had slaves and didn't realize that they were actually, infringing on people's freedom. They just saw them as slaves because they're in a different perspective. They don't identify with being owned at all. They have a different perspective. Because they haven't been in it. And so sometimes you got to remove yourself from your culture and even your timeline to truly look at how you respond and act and then think differently. Coming to America, right? I was just watching that. And remember when they had picked him out a wife, Ricky? You remember Coming to America?
Yeah.
They had picked him out a
Mm-hmm.
wife, and he was telling him this woman will be suitable for you. This is what King Joffrey Jah was saying to our king, right? This will be suitable for you. She'll bring a lot of pleasure for you, don't you think? And then he was just like, no, I want to choose my own bride. Well, she's been carefully selected for you. His friend tells him, Arsenio Hall at the time, Semi, tells him that you'd rather have a woman who thinks. Like, why would you want to have a woman who thinks? Like, he said, I'd rather have a woman who thinks than share my kingdom or share my life and my legacy with a woman who is dumb. And he was like, but that's been the way of powerful men forever. But literally, what's happening at that moment is Akeem is stepping outside of all of that, saying that this isn't right. It isn't right for them to choose my bride for me. I should be able to truly find who I want to marry, who I deem worthy to spend the rest of my life with, not who my father chooses for me. And he's literally thinking outside of the box. And this is the very thing we shun in our own world. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you see how the world is going, it's easy to fall in line and continue that. We have a certain age group that we agree upon that's the right age for sex, then the marriage, and then if a person says they are a man, if a woman says I want a man, she's talking about a significant other, a person who shows her attention. If a man says I don't feel like a man, he's not talking about by gender. He's talking about a construct, a certain amount of money, right? Stable, financial stability. He doesn't feel like a man, or either he can't get his body to function how he wants it to, by way of like sex, right? So he doesn't feel like a man. And this is a construct that you put with this. A man is not a person that has a full-time job necessarily. A man is not a man because he has a certain amount in the bank. But a man, by definition, is a male, an adult male. But we all see this word as something differently. This is what I mean by stepping away and getting a whole new reality. In your old reality, you wouldn't feel like a man unless you had a certain amount of money, right? Because that's how you identify power or identify yourself with being capable to provide. But in another world, it's not about money. Maybe it's about hunting or building or having skills. You know what I mean? And so the concept gets changed based on the environment you live in. So you got to step outside of the environment to see it for what it is. You know what I mean? And realize that, hey, maybe being a man doesn't mean I have to have a certain amount of money in the bank, because what does that really mean? You know what I mean? Maybe it's about how I treat people or how responsible I am in my life. What would clarify me as being I guess what we call a man in terms of definition. You know what I mean? Let's see here. So we were talking about going inside as far as introspection and looking at your life from the outside in or the inside out. Let's talk about this right here. Sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. So, Ricky, people who are into sex, right, or come out of religion, of course, they view sex as something that is probably it requires marriage, right? If you're a Christian, right, these are the things around the sex. You must first be married. What do you say to someone who has lived their whole lives thinking like this, and they leave religion and they say, well, what about sex if there is no sin? Like, I mean, I mean, because in religion we'll use things like sex, but then we talk about energies being exchanged through sex, soul ties through sex. All these things are kind of encapsulated into the topic of sex, and it's all accepted in religion. We talk about soul ties and energies being exchanged. Even in Christianity, we do. So, if a person's leaving that type of religious belief or that type of doctrine, how should they now think about sex? What advice would you give? Something sacred, Miss
Well,
J said.
they should think about it for what it is, because it's not sacred to everyone. Ms. J said it's sacred. It's not sacred. It's not sacred when lions do it. It's not sacred when gorillas do it. It's just a means of procreation. Okay, so you can have sex, you can procreate, or it can have a different meaning for you, but that's up to the individual. It's going to mean what the person, you, the individual, wants it to mean. Okay, if you just casually have sex with someone, it don't mean anything. You could talk about energies, and you could talk about soul ties, and you could talk about all of this stuff that people can't prove. But the only thing that ties you to another person, I do believe, if you have a child with someone, that gives you a certain type of connection with that person. I wouldn't call it a soul tie. I would call it like a legal responsibility when they put you on child support. So I would much rather have a soul tie
Okay, so
than to
my
be
bad, Ricky.
tied with somebody in child support.
Right, and for clarity's sake, Miss J was referring to. I was asking how do Christians view sex, and of course, I was
Oh,
saying
okay,
yeah. So
okay,
so yeah, they do.
okay.
They do see it as
Well,
sacred. You're
yeah, I
absolutely right.
wanted to address it out of the way. I'm sorry, Ms. J. I wasn't directing that towards you, but I'm just saying, like, it's people do deem it to be some sacred thing, and that's how we get mixed up. Even with women, they feel like if they have sex with you, they've given you their body, they've given you something. But I'm like, what about me? Like my body isn't worth anything. My sexual energy, or whatever you deem it to be, it's not worth anything. It's just you, because I'm entering into to your body. I'm still allowing you. I'm still going through this act with you. So I'm as just as important as you are. My emotional state and my emotional well-being is equally important. But I want to go real quick back to something that you said about the whole coming to America incident, and this ties into what we're saying. That woman who was given to Prince Akeem, like she basically would have been a prisoner, because like someone selected and chose her. What if she didn't want to live that type of life? Now, most people say, well, she would have been a queen, she would have been a princess. Who doesn't want that type of lifestyle? That lifestyle is not for everyone. And then you have to be at the prince's every becking call. Like that life is
And
not
Ricky,
for
the thing
everyone.
is, that's a reality they haven't had an opportunity to live in. They couldn't imagine. Man, I know a celebrity. I mean, I know celebrities. Facts. I mean, no doubt about it. I've been at their houses. I hang with them. I've seen that their schedules, bro, and how they really don't have a life. Like everything they do, their whole life is scheduled out. They got to be over here to take these pictures here. They got to go over here and smile and go over here and give this speech, and their whole day is just that, bro. Like 100, and then they can't post this on Facebook. They can't post this on Instagram. They can't show the person that they care about. They can't all these rules. They do, and they feel like slaves. So yeah, to a certain degree, yes. Like listen, when he walked in, he said, "I offer to your son my daughter." He tells King Jaffe Jah, "I offer to your son my daughter." Neither one of them even got names in this scenario. This is a trade off of power. I offer you my daughter so we can continue to do business. This is how kings think. This is how they thought back then. The marriages was based on gaining territory or gaining power or influence. You see, it wasn't about is this your child love this person? Are they really into this person? Do they want to be with this person? No, it was about a contract. It was about a pawn. You know what I mean? A prop, so to speak. They didn't really see their children as human beings, so to speak. It was you have to go here because I said so. Like, and that's just how it was saw from that standpoint. I'm obviously just talking about the show here, how they didn't even get names, and a lot of times we can raise our children to think the same way. Sex. A lot of people say, well, since I left religion, I don't even think about sex that much. I can actually agree with that. When I left religion, sex was the last thing on my mind, and it was because I was in a state of panic, complete state of turmoil and distress. Less sex was the last thing on my mind. I had just learned that my whole life was a lie, so I didn't think about sex for years when I left religion. Like this just wasn't something that was on my mind like that. So, um, and then of course I went through and still am currently rebuilding from the financial losses of losing my job, just trying to make it. And so when you got all that stuff in front of you too, it's hard to think about that. So and a lot of times that happens too in a religion. If your significant other, or even when I say religion, I don't mean Christianity, I just mean the matrix. If you identify with having money means that you're a man, or having the ability to pay this and that, or be stable makes you a man, it could actually hurt your sex life in terms of, feeling, I guess that masculinity when it comes to sex. So a lot of times you won't think about sex, and the wife, a lot of times, or the person that you're with, they may feel like you're turned off because the general thought is that men always want sex. Now I know that's what women think, and we probably don't do any justice in disproving that because we probably make it seem like that's all we think about as well. But when a man is not turned on or is attracted or wanting sex as badly because they're in a situation like that, the woman often feels like it's something she done wrong, and they don't realize that men have hormones too. Like we have, body chemicals too that are going off in our bodies, and if those things are not happening, we don't want sex either. It's not necessarily that we just walk around all the time wanting sex. It's really based on the amount of chemicals you produce, or testosterone, or that you produce, hormones that you have that makes you want to have sex. You know what I mean? And we go through different times in our lives. I think it's accepted socially that women don't always want sex, and sometimes they may say, "I don't feel like it tonight," or they may say, "I have a headache," and that's we hear on TV all the time. So we just ration it out till you don't want sex. Okay, cool. But men don't get that right. When you go out on dates, women typically know that the sex is theirs to give, and if they want to have it, then they can. It's the man who has to wait, and this is the typical thing. When you leave religion, though, all that changes. So when we ask this question, family, uh, about sex, right? How do you deal with the sex? It's not asking necessarily should you just feel guilty. It's what are the roles, and the people that you meet in your life. Is everybody a sexual partner just because there is no rules to this now? How do you live your life? Like, have you may still have people that you recognize as friends, and y'all may still have a rocking relationship, like I'm talking about a dope relationship, but there may be no sex involved. And someone could witness how tight y'all are and literally assume that there's sex involved. When, like if you ever had anyone who you really thought was dope uh, lose interest in you or not want to deal with you anymore because they maybe saw someone else around you, or maybe thought you were interested in someone else or showed someone else some type of affection. If this has happened, you know all too well what I mean. Like you can have more than one person in your life, and one person can fulfill you in an area that another person just frankly doesn't. Someone may fulfill you in a romantic way, where it's hot, it's sexy, it's all that, and someone may fulfill you in an intellectual way, where y'all just kick it, frankly. And if you try to do the sex thing, it probably will ruin the relationship. But in all, we haven't gotten to a place, I don't think, because of religion. And maturity because of how the world raises us to think about sex that we actually allow that. I asked the question the other day: is it okay to tell a person that you love someone if you have a girlfriend, if you have a wife, if I'm married, if I'm with a person in a relationship with a person, is it okay for me to have a phone call with my female friend and say to her, "I love you too," because she expressed to me that she loved me on the phone? And a lot of women would say, "No, that's not okay with me." But we're raised to believe as genders that we can only love one person, but love doesn't mean sex. Love means love, and right? I mean, because but some people would have a problem with that, right? I ask these type of questions because I want us to think about this, right? Sex ruins a friendship. I agree. When someone is supposed to just be your friend, sometimes even if they're attractive, you might try to have sex with them, and everybody ain't your sexual partner. Everybody's not someone that you can get like, mingle like that with because it can ruin it. It can actually. And there's a difference in between someone that you are close to in terms of a friendship standpoint, or we get along standpoint, and then someone that you actually feel sexual desire for. There's a big difference, so when you're telling someone, how do you live your life now? Because what do you do when your whole life has been that of making the other person feel comfortable? Like, we don't have male friends if you got a boyfriend, right? You don't have female friends. Don't be smiling in her face. Don't be all kiki ha ha, right? You know how y'all do. But what if it's somebody? What if she's funny as shit? Like, what if she's super funny and you like hanging out with her and she makes you laugh? Well, like, what? I got to turn that off now, and just because I sleep with you and we have a relationship, I can't be friends with this person? How do you feel when it comes to that? You know what I mean? So let me know, because I'm reading the comments and I'm waiting for. Melanie B says we are taught to be sexual. Absolutely, you're taught that when you come in contact with that opposite sex person, that it's supposed to be either sex or something that grows into sex, right? But everybody is not for you to have sex with. Some people are just friends. Some people are just to get to know, right? Miss J says, "Be you." Let's see what Melanie P says. For we know that sex, for all we know, so yeah, sex should be had to be only to procreate. I mean, I hear that, but it
Well,
also feels great.
let me just say this, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch it to you.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought, man.
Well, I was just saying, sex does feel great, and maybe that's a reason for us to procreate, so that doesn't defeat or disprove what you said. I mean, it's likely true. I don't see any other reason why we would have sex if it wasn't for to procreate. But the fact is, it does feel good, and we do have these desires to have sex, even when it's not to procreate. So women feel sexual desire even when they're already pregnant, which tells you that if sex is just to procreate, then our bodies haven't evolved to the point to understand that, because we actually feel sexual desire whether or not we're pregnant. If you're a woman, that's what I would say to that. Go ahead, Ricky.
Oh no, man. I was just gonna say, boy, when you start talking about sex, man, we just gotta have a sex show, because it's just so much that goes into that. But I'm gonna go back a little bit, and then I'm gonna tie it back into sex. Okay.
Yes, sir.
First, I just want to point out. I think is it bra money or bra money? Sex is addictive. Everything is addictive, man. Smoking is addictive. Playing video games is addictive. Eating food is addictive. Everything is addictive. Okay, so you just have to understand that any exercise can be addictive. So anything that makes you feel good, anything that releases endorphins and gives you some type of euphoric effect or feeling is addictive. So it's not just sex. So I'll address that. Go back up to the Prince Hakeem coming to America, because we went way down. When you talk about being a slave, that's what she was going to be. She says, "All my life I have been trained to serve you."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, from a very since she was a child, she's been trained to serve. What does that sound like? your whole life, from a child, you've been trained to serve who? That, you see what I mean? So if you look at that situation in a different perspective, because some people look at it as a good thing, that she would have been a princess, but she would have to do everything that the prince or the king told her to do. In religion, they tell you that this king of Kings, Lord of Lords, is going to give you a life that you can't even imagine. But the only thing that you got to do is do everything that he tells you to do, and to serve him for your whole entire life. So I just wanted to make that point, but I'm going to keep going here, okay? When we talk about sex, okay, somebody said that we're the only beings that use sex for pleasure. You don't watch a lot of National Geographics, because in the animal kingdom you have a lot of primates who actually have sex socially. Okay, not even
Absolutely.
reproducing. They're not in heat, but they're having sex. So I
Actually,
know
the
for
amount of time some of these animals have sex per day would blow your freaking mind. So it's
yeah,
obviously, yes,
yeah,
they don't care about. It's
yeah.
not about procreating.
Hey,
It's like
get that
a.
Discovery Channel. You know what I mean?
I think to make it clear, We don't even like if you were to go back and just imagine mankind evolving. We didn't say we need babies. Let's have sex. It was more like I feel this need to have sex, and then it just magically became babies. Like I just that just makes more sense. Like a male and female were just feeling overwhelming the sensation for each other. Messed around and her belly swole up. They didn't know what the hell was going on for 9 months. And then all of a sudden a baby came. I don't think we knew that a baby was going to come, so we just said we got to figure out a way to have babies. Let me put this in here, and then make sure and then at the right time of the month, and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of like something we probably tripped up upon. It looks like Ricky lagging here, so I'm gonna switch it to me. But Ricky, can you hear me though? Can you hear me, Ricky? All right, Ricky, I'm gonna be checking my text messages too. If you are lost, let me if you went offline, let me know. We'll try to get you straight. Let me see. Let me check real quick, family. See what's going on with Ricky. It says he's still here. It looks like so. Ricky, if you can't get back on, shoot me a text and I'll recall you. Okay, let me get back to the chat. All right, let's see here. Someone said I watched penguins in a procreation process. We laughed like crazy. Essential everyday sea star. I was just talking about penguins the other day and how they be cheating on each other. How we're raised to believe that penguins mate for life, but they be cheating on each other all the time. Look, it's a connection lost, so I'm gonna have to hang this call up and I'm gonna recall Ricky. Yeah, penguins be cheating on each other. They be having set babies with other penguins and don't even be caring. The male penguin out getting food and the female penguin out smashing, getting a smash on, like getting a whole smash on out here. Got a whole baby by the time he get back. Monique says I can be attracted to someone mentally but not physically. I never knew that until I divorced, left Christianity, and been single. My thought process is so different now concerning this. I completely understand. I think that a lot of us actually identify with the same thing. We're starting to realize that we're more sapiosexual than just being turned on by someone's physical anatomy or just because we want to have sex. We actually need something more. And I think a lot of times women are that way anyway. Um, for whatever reason, it's not letting me call Ricky. Let me see here. Hang on, family. Yeah, I guess Ricky lost signal for real because it's not even letting me call him. That's crazy. Hang on. Ricky, shoot me a text if you straight, bro. All right, so until I can get Ricky back, we're just gonna talk. Okay. Someone says chemistry. Let me just try to catch up with you guys, and we'll wrap with you. I'll just act like it's just me until Ricky comes back. Malik Rashad says a lot of times polygamy becomes orgyism. Um, I could see that. A lot of people's probably their interest or curiosity to have sex with multiple partners at the same time could probably lean them towards polygamy more so than platonic or monogamous relationships, simply because men walk around with this fantasy all the time of having more than one woman at the same time. So you can see how it could make men more so lean towards polygamy. And then men like women anyway, so to speak. A lot of men like women, even though they're being faithful, they still love to look at women or desire other women. So you can see how that could make someone lean towards polygamy, but that's not for the right reasons. It's for community building, raising your children, finances, things, all the aspects that polygamy would bring. But unfortunately, we do have people who think lower. I guess with that, what we would call that lower chakra, or think with their lower self, and they probably just thinking about the idea of sleeping with many women. I mean, granted, that is a, I guess I would say it's a plus. You get to fulfill those fantasy endeavors by having more than one woman, but you still have to recognize that it's a reason for that. It's not just about fun. And if you can't do that, and you don't have the skill sets to raise multiple children, how to teach children things that most people can't teach, then maybe you should just recognize that you just maybe want a threesome, and maybe you should just pursue that and not, wasting anybody's time. Because if you try some polygamy stuff and you don't have the skill sets that's required for that, you're just gonna waste everybody's time, whether it's monogamous or not. Some people just don't know what they're doing. Just make sure it's a mental thing. I get wanting to have fun. Just recognize when you want to have fun for a moment and when you want it to be part of your life. Because the biggest part is that's where people get hurt. Is you confuse yourself into thinking that this is how you want your next life to be, when in reality you just want to experience something. And too many times we've gotten so far uh, down the road that now you're hurting somebody because you thought that you wanted to live this lifestyle and you didn't. A lot of women do it as well. They tell their husbands, I'll try polygamy and we can try the threesome thing, and I'll try to do some freaky stuff to her, and and then they do it, and then they realize that it's not for them, and then now the man feels hurt because apparently it's a deal breaker now, and either they go back to the way it was, or she don't want to be a part of that, and she has every right for that, but then he feels like, well, dang, we don't went this far. I don't want to really lose that. So I can imagine how he would feel as well. Most likely, he'll probably say, okay, baby, I won't do it because, he'll care so much about her. Typically, he's been with her for a long time. If that's just based on my little scenario I'm making up here, coming up with. But then he'll go back to still wanting to do that. But in the meantime, maybe he's not even capable of doing that. But we still try these things. Just make sure you're doing it. I would just say for the right reasons. Be honest with the person that you're talking to. Make sure that what y'all want is compatible with each other. That way, you're not lying or hurting somebody. You know. Papa said a sex orgy can be fun for a manifestation ceremony. And I mean, again, it's based on the life that you're trying to live, or the moments that you're trying to have. Again, if morality is subjective, then we know that it's based on the consent of another party. So no one can make you feel guilty for it, but you do have to ask yourself, because you're fulfilling your desires or whatever. Does that mean that would it actually make your life harder? You know what I mean? Make your life more complicated down the road. Like, what can come from it? Here's Ricky. Hang on. All right, let me try this, Ricky. Okay, Ricky, I'm gonna try this again. I've been waiting on you to text me. 1 second. Hang on 1 second, guys. Hang on, family. Let me see here. Crap. Give me a minute, guys. I gotta figure out how to get Ricky back on here. Forgive me. Uh, Hang on, family. We gotta get Ricky back on. Okay. Hang on, guys. Just get Ricky back on. All right, guys. I thought I was calling. Now it's acting stupid again. I hate this stuff. What is that? Call him again, family. Hang on 1 second. All right, Rick, we got you back, brother.
What's up, man? You ain't like what I was saying, bro? You hit the red button?
I absolutely did not, bro. I've been trying to get you on. I was asking you to text me as soon as it logged off.
Yeah, that red button means stop, man. That usually means bad, man.
I didn't hit a button, sir.
I was just messing with you, bro.
All right, Rick, we got you back, brother.
All right. What's up, man? You ain't like what I was saying, bro? You hit the red button?
I absolutely did not, bro. I've been trying to get you on.
All right, so that was like YouTube. Yeah. All right, man. So, bro.
What's up, brother?
Oh, okay. Oh no, I mean, yeah, I'm back.
All right, my bad. Yeah, I'm trying to figure this thing out. Let me get this thing back to you real quick. Let you
oh, you got to get back on OBS. You trying to reposition OBS?
Yeah, I was actually my phone logged out on YouTube. I was actually reading the comments from YouTube, but it logged me out, which is crazy. But they can see you now. So what was go ahead? What you were saying?
They say you probably need to turn up that volume a little bit. Check the volume on the OBS and make sure it's good.
Okay, let's see here. Can you guys hear Ricky? Let me know if you guys can hear Ricky, family. Can you hear Ricky? Okay, yes.
Yeah, they said they
got
can hear me. They said they can hear me. No, man, we'll apologize, family, for these technical difficulties, but again, we building, and we definitely going to change this in the future and have a nice setup. So we just ask that you bear with us. It's been a while, since we've been doing this. So we're getting back, and we definitely going to change the format and the setup so we don't have these issues. So we do thank you for understanding. But I just hear the conversation that we're having, and it's kind of gone sexual. Okay, so I guess I'll deal with some sexual things as far as like the having your mind be reborn. A lot of the times we look at women like again, because of our thinking and because of our programming and because of what we see in society, it's not normal for a woman to approach you for sex. Okay. If a woman came up to you, and again, this depends on who you are, but it would seem a little odd that an attractive woman would approach you and want to have sex with you. Like as a man, you would be like, some men maybe wouldn't have a second thought about it, and they may engage in that activity. But then a thinking person will be like, what is it with this? Are you trying to set me up, or are you trying to give me something? Because it's not typical that a woman would, come to a man and I guess engage him in a sexual way. Some women are a little more forward than others, but just because of our programming, that would appear to be a little abnormal, or it would raise some red flags in regards to, I guess, how you would approach that situation. And that's another thing that we have to change, because we act like, women don't want to have sex. And in most cases, they do. And in a lot of cases, they want to have sex more than men do. But because of society, women or some are taught to suppress, their sexual nature, because They don't want these labels. Okay, so that's another thing that we kind of have to think about in regards to that. But just all in all, whatever you decide to do, just like we've been saying, if you are free, sometimes you can free yourself from religion, but you haven't freed yourself from all of the concepts, from all of the things that they have put in you, and these things that you think that you have to follow because this is the norm. And it's not so much of religion; it's just also societal norms. Okay, what's the norm in society? What's the norm in this culture? Even if you have a culture of polygamy and one person decides to have just a single wife, that may appear to be abnormal in regards to your community because everybody's practicing polygamy. But if you
Mm-hmm.
just decide to be with this one person, you are breaking that societal norm. So you would appear to be abnormal in that situation, but it all goes to whatever you want to do and whatever you feel comfortable with. You are the prince Akeem of your own life. If you don't want to marry someone who was given to you, but you want to have your wife or your spouse think for themselves and you want to do something outside of the norm, then you are the prince of your life. You are the king of your life. Do what it is that you want to do, and that is true freedom.
Absolutely. I want to say this really quickly, and this is just really quickly. Terra Cola, Terraco, or Terra Oracle, I believe is what you're calling yourself. I think. Lishana asked me to make you a moderator a couple of weeks ago. Remember? I don't know if you remember that, but that's why your name is glowing. You're a moderator. I can undo that if you like. Just let me know. I thought this was something that you were trying to do. I don't know, but again, guys, it's not this. This is not all about sex. Don't get me wrong. I hated to get off on a tangent. I think that's just something that's really interesting to us. The topic that we really care about because that's a question that many of us have. I get that question all the time, Ricky. I don't know how often you get that, but a lot of us just don't know how to approach sex. I mean, and I'll be honest and say that I'm guilty. I was one of them, man. I am one of them, actually. Being in church like that, um, you kind of are taught that sex is that makes is something that should convict you. You know what I mean? Make you feel convicted. So I mean, even leaving sex, man, I haven't been the type to pursue sex in that way because I don't want to. I guess I would feel like a dirty dude. Let's say someone like myself, like with a platform in which I have and things like that. I wouldn't want to be out here like trying to take advantage of women. I hate to even say take advantage, but I wouldn't actually be out here having sex with them, even if it was offered, because I wouldn't want to be put into a light like I'm using women because you know how it would get twisted, and that same thing could be used against you as a character flaw. Let's just say Kevin enjoyed to have sex, right? And I'm having sex with all these different women, and that's something that I could do if I guess if I wanted, I'm human like everyone else. It would come off as you're using women or you're a player or a dog, because I'm in a limelight. I'm a public figure now. What would you say to somebody like myself who was like, I mean, what do I do? If I want to pursue something like that, I can't do it as easily as someone else could because it's still honestly if it's not looked at as inherently bad or as a character flaw, it's used against you if things don't work out the way another person may have wanted them to. You know what I mean? So what would you say to that? The fact you've heard me talk before on this subject. Like I would hate for my platform and everything I work for be ruined because things didn't work out with someone the way they expected. You know what I mean? And it's sad that a person's platform and everything they work for can be ruined tied to something like sex that'll just last a few minutes and character traits can be associated with it. Ricky, I hate I'm losing you again. I think you left again. Ricky, you there? I wanted you to answer that, to speak to that. Ricky, text me if you get this, bro. This is crap. I'm going to hang up because it's stupid. I hate the technical difficulties, family. Let me try to get Ricky back on here real quick. I swear I got a hacker that keeps messing with my stuff. And Kelly said, yes, you do. I don't know if that's referring to me. You don't know me. You don't know me. Be knowing what I'm out here doing. Let me see here. Just hang on, trying to get Ricky back on here. I hate this. It's about to just make me mad. I'm just gonna have to like just do this another time. I hate this, man. Let me see something, family. Ricky, it keeps on kicking me out of Google Hangouts and then asking for a new password. When I put the password in, it's telling me that that's not the password, and it makes me literally rechange using my password. It's just so stupid. Then it asks me for a verification code and all that stuff. Like, okay, I gotta rechange my password. It's almost like someone is hacking into my what's the name and changing the password and then logging me out, like just to freak with my show. I swear to God, it seemed like that. I know I'm not forgetting the password as soon as I make it. Okay, so Ricky, I'm about to call you back. Then it logs me off of YouTube as well. That's crazy. It did the same. It kicked me off YouTube again. That is literally crazy. Like, why would it do that crap? Let me call Ricky real quick while I'm trying to log into this thing.
I'm back.
Okay, Ricky. Let me just switch you to them. Right with him, Ricky, man. We talking and I don't know why, but Google Hangouts is logging you off. When I log back in, the password has changed, and I have to recreate another password. I don't know what's going on, man, but I'm trying to figure this out now.
I got you, bro. It's all good, man. It's this the first show back, so it's gonna be some little kinks, gonna be some little bumps that we have to run into. So what we talking about now, man? We still talking about sex?
Man, actually, man.
I know. Before I got off, you were saying about as you've been a public figure and your
Right.
reputation. Yeah. So this is important that we have these conversations so people will really know you. They'll know how free you are. It's just like when I made the video yesterday about birthdays. It's just like people don't know you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When if someone sees one of my videos, they'll I guess draw a conclusion as to what type of person I am off of that one video, but they don't know me. So someone who has a history of me and I make a video and it may seem to be shocking and I'm saying certain things and they'd be like, man, that guy don't know what he's talking about. He's crazy. But if you know me and you have a history with me, then what I'm saying to you is not abnormal. It's not shocking. It's actually
Mm-hmm.
normal. But when you talk about you being a public figure, any public figure, and our ideas of how you should carry yourself or how you should present yourself to the public, that's why we have to like destroy all of these this idealism that we have and that we put on people just because you are conscious. So you're not supposed to have sex, you're not supposed to be with a woman, you're not supposed to talk to a woman. We are adults. Okay, if you and another woman
not just you, a person who is a public figure who is well respected, at, is a man and is single, and he and another adult woman decides to have sex or decides to do whatever it is that they do that's legal, then no one should have anything to say about that, and that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't reflect on his character. Okay, um, what I'm thinking about is when you are now if you present yourself a certain way, and if you were saying I'm abstaining from sex and I'm meditating and I'm trying to reach, my crown chakra, and this is your following, and then people find out that you having sex with all these people, then that's different. Like you're being a hypocrite at that point. When you have a family and you're married and you're sleeping with other women and your wife doesn't know it, and that if she did know, it would be something that would hurt her, you're lying to people, then that's a character flaw. That reflects on your character. But if you are a consenting adult, you can do whatever it is you want to do, sexual or non-sexual. I look at it like this: in regards to sex, it is a very taboo. It is very strange when you don't do things sexually that everybody else, what society has put on you as being normal. Then there's a problem with you. I don't have a problem with polygamy. I don't have a problem with women sleeping with several guys if that's what they want to do. It's just like drinking. Drink responsibly. You can drink and get in a car, if you're not responsible, and kill someone and kill another person. I was just
True.
talking about this with someone earlier today. You can use your body irresponsibly and hurt yourself and potentially hurt someone else. So I just feel like whatever it is you want to do, and if you're doing it safely and you're doing it responsibly and you're not manipulating and lying to people and not putting yourself, I guess, projecting this image that is not, you're not living, then I don't see anything wrong with that. So yeah, that's fine. You a public figure or not, celebrity or not, you can do whatever it is you want to do, because you find out in many cases when we suppress to impress, we end up like Magic Johnson. We end up like Wilt Chamberlain. We end up like a lot of these celebrities who are in the image. Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, beautiful wife. You know, trying to put on a persona that you can't live up to. So if you know you like to entertain women. But I think people will respect you more if you're honest about it. Okay, and they won't take it so bad when they find out, they see you with this one, they see you with that one. They just know like, hey, John, man, John like them girls. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Be careful, be careful around John. Like I know people like that. Like the dude the handsome dude in the club that's in the club every week, and he there talking to a different woman. You know that's what he do. So as a woman, if you go over there and talk to him, you like, hey, that John, you gonna end up at John's house tonight. And then next week, John gonna be talking to somebody, because that's what John do. Everybody know it. So I think if you just be who you are, people will respect you more.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Trying to work with something. Hang on. So what Rick's saying, what I gather is Rick saying, like, as long as you're not out here, lying and misrepresenting yourself just to get something out of someone, and you're being honest, a character flaw can't be associated with a person who enjoys sex. It's not fair. If a person enjoys sex and they're having the conversations, the correct conversations, not lying and manipulating, and that should be what it is. But do we live in a society where that can be accepted? Obviously, it's not wrong, but when you are when you do have I guess a mission, or you are in a place of public of the public eye, you do have to be careful. And I say it's not necessarily because sex is wrong; it's because people have the tendency to be irresponsible. They act irrationally when they don't get what they want. So if someone doesn't have you in the way that they want you, they may try to embarrass you or humiliate you, or even be in pain to where they actually feel like that you actually hurt them to the point to where they embarrass you or humiliate you. So you really want to make sure. That's why I say sapiosexual is key. For me, I care more about if a person isn't intellectual, they are probably not as likely to go crazy on you, because they recognize that things may not work out the way you intend for them to all the time, and you can't punish someone because they didn't like you back in that way, or want a they couldn't fulfill what you had in your mind at that time, or whatever. And so it's very important that we learn that things may not always go the way you want, and you can't punish people for not being who you want them to be in your life. And religion and the world's constructs has given us a right to do that, because marriage, of course, you own the person, but then you own a person if they make a verbal commitment to you, or if they just simply have sex with you. We live in a construct now where if someone has sex with you, a man, and men do this too, not women, not just women, but a man will, have sex with a woman, and he'll think now, because they had sex, that he owns her. He'll think that when he walks in the door right now, let's say if he kisses her on a date the night before, he'll think that when he sees her, he can just go in for a kiss. Like he thinks somehow that now it's okay because we've got the one kiss. When really, no, you don't. You don't have access to her body solely because she gave you some one time. You don't own her. And couples do this to each other. People do this to each other, even when there is no commitment. So when you do finally make that commitment and say, hey, this is the person I want to be with, that you're held to that commitment. So if you come back 4 or 5 months later saying, hey, this is not working for me, that person would say to you, well, you said you wanted to be with me. Well, I did, but not anymore. It's just not working. We don't get along the way I expected, the way I'd hoped to, and it's just not good for me to be in this relationship any longer. That is fair. That's definitely a way of looking at it, a way of approaching it. But in a nutshell, that's hard to accept from the opposite sex, especially when they feel like when they come from a matrix to where they feel like if they do something with you, that you owe them, that they've given you a part of themselves. Women do it. I gave you my body, and this is how you do me. Or a guy say, I spent all this money on you, and this is how you do me. Neither is here or there. Like when I spent the money on you, it was cool, and maybe now you realize that I'm not somebody who you want to deal with anymore. So now you're breaking it off. I shouldn't feel like you owe me something because I spent the money. That was my opportunity to get to know you. I asked you out. If you have sex with a guy and you say, well, dang, I had sex with you. I gave you my body. He also gave you his. Like you enjoyed sex together. You didn't just give him something. You also got something. And if you didn't want it, you shouldn't have done it. Like you shouldn't have slept with this person if you didn't want sex. Why are you giving him sex if you don't want it? Me personally, I don't want it that way. I don't want nobody giving me sex when they don't want to do it. So keep it. I don't want it. If you don't want to do it, I don't want to do it with you. That's just that's my motto. Um, if you're not turned on, then heck, neither am I. That's just kind of how I've trained my brain to be. So I wouldn't want someone having sex with me if that's not something that they desire. So if you're having sex with this person and you desired it, you also got to have sex with this person. They got to have sex with you. So it's probably not wise to now say, okay, you owe me something or you did me wrong because I gave you something. Unless, of course, they lied to get it. That's the key. But if both of you guys were both honest with each other and in what you wanted, and then you recognize that it's just not working, there is no waste of time with intent, with agency. So that there shouldn't be a punishment that you would try to put that person through because you feel that they wasted your time. No one intended on it. Every day you lost, they lost too. Every minute, every second that you lost, they lost also. They was trying to deal with you. And when it didn't work out, you said they wasted your time. We project
Even
onto each other when things don't work out the way we want to. And it's just not fair. What do you think, Ricky?
Yeah, even if they do lie, Kevin, that person, even if they did lie to get it, so they you gave it to them. They didn't know. I mean, you could be upset about the dishonesty, but it's like, come on, man. Like at the end of the day, it is just sex. If they didn't give you a disease, if you ain't got, if no child came from it, It's just sex. Like men lie, women lie, people will lie, and for you to think that that someone's gonna be completely honest with you, then you are lying to yourself. You are deceiving yourself. So and when women think that they gave you something, I'm like, what if it's bad? What if I didn't like what you gave me? Like, and you did. Like, cause sometimes it's a situation where she like, man, I enjoyed it. Woo, boy, like 3 or 4 times, you know what I'm saying? But you like, wasn't that great for me. So what you owe me? Do you owe me? So sometimes it's the opposite. But again, I don't want to get too deep into that, but I just want to say this, okay? When we talk about, like, I don't know why when I'm truly free. When I say I'm free, I'm free. I When you say that, the Bible says your spouse's body is not its own. Like when you get married, your body is my body belongs to my wife and her body belongs to me. No, it doesn't. It's her body. It's your
Facts.
body. And that's why people get in these relationships and they feel like if somebody sleeps with another person, you gave somebody your body and now they want to kill you. I don't want someone to love me enough to kill me. I don't want that type of love. I don't want, like, I know that's not love, but to them it may be like, I love you so much I'll kill. No, I don't want you to love me that much. I don't want you to love me so much that if I'm gone, you feel like your life is destroyed. Now, I'll be there for you. I'll do whatever I'm supposed to do as a companion. But this deep-rooted love and we one and we soul tied and intermingled. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to be your companion. Um, I want to be there for you. I want to support you. I want to make you, build you up emotionally, make sure that you're strong. But in the case I'm not there anymore for you, I want you to be strong enough and have the ability to be able to go on with your life without me. Okay, that's what I want. And then one quick other thing, my relationship is open on my end. Like, I don't own you. I don't care how long we've been together. You can do whatever it is you want to do. If you want to sleep with somebody, go sleep with them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But in me saying that, that doesn't mean I'm just saying, yo, go sleep. You know what I'm saying? Go sleep. If it happens, we'll have a conversation about it. We'll have a conversation. Did you protect yourself? What caused it to take place? Like, was I not giving you enough attention? How did it happen? We can have that conversation, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, we've been together 10 years. You cheated on me. So now I'm about to break up our finances, about to break up our children, about to break up our family. We got to decide who gonna get the dog or who gonna get the turtle or whatever. Like, I'm over somebody having sex with another person because I feel like I own your body and your body is my body. My relationship is open on my end. You free to do whatever it is you want to do. I just ask one thing. Just respect me enough to protect yourself. And then if I'm not doing something, let's have a conversation about it. Let's communicate. But if you do err, because humans do that, I'm not just gonna automatically throw you in the trash. We're gonna sit down and we can have a conversation about it to see if we should really continue the relationship or not.
Wow. Now, Ricky, I'm gonna ask you a question. Okay. In the aspect, okay, an open relationship. Now, you're in the conscious community, right? Now, this is just something that I ask myself. Okay. Now, I know you probably already know what I'm gonna say, but I guess I'll be thinking like, when you have an open relationship, is it open, or is it better to be kind of wise? Because for me, I could do an open relationship. I can understand that she would want to, I guess, have sex with other people. I can also understand if I wanted to. I live in my head, so I would know how I feel. But how do you feel about, like, say, we be posting online on Facebook and stuff, like we in a conscious so-called community. let's say some brother from the conscious community or whatever sleeps with your woman or whatever. Like you got to see their posts and stuff all the time. Like, will that bother you? Like, this is something I think about. Like, like how would you feel if I guess if someone from the could you make your queen? Can your queen be someone who someone else in the conscious community has slept with that you know of or something, or that you may see on Facebook and stuff? How would you feel about something like that? Or is it
Okay.
man? Or is it
Well,
or is it
yeah.
like to the
If I had
standpoint
a
of I
yeah,
guess
if I had an open
yeah,
yeah, well, I mean, in anything, man, I think that in communication, in a lot of situations with relationships, they go astray because there's a lack of communication. Talking to somebody is not necessarily communicating. Okay, um, just because you talk to your spouse don't mean y'all communicating. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just talking just for the sake of whatever's going on. I had to pick up the kids today. I had to, where to drop the kids off. You're talking, okay, but communicating with your partner is really understanding that person in almost every aspect of their life, what their needs are sexually, um, what they're into, okay, because when I got a free mind, I'm telling you, man, like if I'm with whoever I'm with, whatever we do, that's what we do. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm not doing it. No, whatever it is we do, that's what we do. But to answer your question, I think everything has boundaries, though. Okay, so
right.
just because the relation,
That's actually what I mean. Like,
yeah,
because when people say open, they're not just saying like, hey, anybody wants to sleep with my wife. Hey, welcome to send her an inbox. Like, there's boundaries, bro. Like, you don't want your
right,
homeboy hitting your wife up or hitting your main squeeze up. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
it's like a privacy type thing. Like, I'm not about to. I ain't trying to log on and see this dude who you just slept with. Like, you know what I mean? Posting about some
But
random shit. Like,
but
I
you
just
know
that's
what,
why I
Kevin? Though
asked.
that just goes with your circle, though, man. Like I'm the type of person, though, even though my mind is open, bro. Like I wouldn't sleep with your ex girl, or I wouldn't sleep like even if like I don't sleep, I wouldn't sleep with your ex. So because there's too many women in the world, bro. First of all, like for me to
Absolutely.
be that close, like I ain't trying to sleep with your baby mama. I ain't trying to sleep with your ex. I'm not trying to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't even keep it that close. So when I talk about boundaries and I would want to have friends who are, I guess, have control enough in their mind to not even want to sleep with my girl. Like I should be able to trust you.
Absolutely.
If I can't trust you around my woman, like bro, you can't be my friend. Like I gotta be like,
Exactly.
if my woman, I gotta be like, you coming with me because I don't want to leave you with my homeboy. Like if if I can't trust my woman around my friend, if I can't trust my friend around my woman, then that means I got a problem with my woman and I got a problem with my friend. So you just got problems with the people that's in your circle. So um I want people in my circle similar to me with the same character and the same respect. It's like I don't care what happens. I know Rick ain't gonna try to sleep with my woman. I know
Right.
it. I know he ain't gonna do it. Like he just ain't that type of dude. So and there are people who know me to be that. But if you don't know me, you don't know. But I've been approached to be in a situation like that before. But I turned it down for that very reason because I know the person. I'm like, dude, I'm like, bro, I know you know you. I'm not gonna sleep with your wife. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like I just can't. I can't handle that. You see what I'm saying? So I can't be a part of. But they approached me with it because of who I am. They know it's safe. They know how I think. They know that you know what I mean. The way I carry myself and the way I move. They know that it will be a comfortable situation to have me involved in it. But I had to turn it down. I was like, no, I can't do that. You may be comfortable with it, but I'm just not comfortable with it.
Right. It's and see what Ricky's saying. Like that goes to show, and more so, guys, that and now this is just in closing because we're going to get to more of these things as the episodes continue, family. But I want you guys to get some insight into just to how we think now. But everything is contractual. Understand the same way we live in 2019 by a frame of contract is the same way we establish our morals. people say, well, if you don't believe in religion, how then do you decide what's moral and what's not when it's subjective? Well, the fact is, we already do that. We've established now what things are acceptable socially and what things are not. Relationships consist of the agreement that you have with another person. Whether that agreement is open, like say Ricky says, but with also there are some boundaries to this. Polygamy, there's still boundaries. In every relationship, you're going to have boundaries, period. It's a fact. So it's important that you recognize those boundaries and realize, hey, there's two people here, you and that person that you're trying to deal with on that level, um, and there's going to have to be some guidelines to it. So understand that a relationship is dynamics. It's whatever these two people or few people that consist in this relationship have agreed to. But there is no right or wrong outside of their relationship. A relationship is the contract that one or more parties agreed upon to do a love connection or whatever you want to call it. But the rules exist only within their relationship. So the dynamics are within that relationship. Rick's relationship is open, but there's still dynamics. Someone else may have a relationship where you better not even look at her. You better not even do nothing, and their dynamics tied to that. When you get with a person, realize what they are looking for and create your dynamics around what you both want. And this is when you would have the right to say that something is right or wrong. Of course, it's still subjective, but based on your contract, you can say you went outside of the guidelines. See, this is how we work. We don't necessarily need something to be right or wrong by a higher power standard, but we need to recognize what each other are willing to accept. And if you understand that or what they want or desire in a relationship, once you come to that conclusion, a relationship can work. You just have to have conversations and make sure that that person is honest and adhering to the dynamics of the relationship, regardless of what it consists of. And if you're doing that, then nobody can really judge your relationship, whether it be a third party is completely involved versus rather like a polygamy, or it's polyamory where they don't live in the same places, or you just have fun from time to time and the person that you're with is who you're with at that time. Nothing actually, no ties. Just simply, hey, we have fun and let's just enjoy ourselves. Life's hard as it is. This is a vacation for both of us. Let's focus on each other and have fun with each other. And whatever happens during that time happens. And there's no, of course, I lost Ricky again. Dang, it's crazy. This stuff is getting on my nerves, y'all. I'm still trying to figure this stuff out. So anyway, family, just trying to get everything right here. I hate this live's doing that. I was closing. If you guys can hear me, please still tell me something, and we'll. I just want to make sure you guys can still hear me now because it's definitely we lost Ricky. I can't get to where you guys can see me on the camera, even though I'm seeing, but I don't see my OBS, which is crazy. I'm not understanding this thing now. It's blowing my mind. Okay, I can transition here. Okay, cool. I got it to where it worked here, so I got me here. All right, so basically, family, we're going to go ahead and just end it this week. It's too many complications. It's really frustrating me, and we'll bring it back next week. Please, guys, don't forget to donate. Monetary help is absolutely needed, and with that, we can make the show better, make the app better for you guys. If you have not yet joined the app, it's the Be Evolution community app, Be Community app, and we're connecting with each other and all that thing, all that stuff, all that good stuff. But just in a nutshell, as far as a relationship is concerned, make sure you and that other party are comfortable and understand the dynamics of the relationship so you can make sure you're treating each other in a way that's not going to bring upon pain and resentment, having them feeling like that you're using them or deceiving them in any way. All right, family. So be responsible. You know, be responsible. Treat people like you like to be treated, and just make sure you adhere to your contractual agreements. All right, family. That's what I would say in the aspect of dating, and we'll talk about the rest here next week, just episode 2. So stay tuned, family. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. I love you all. Be evolution. Be the change that you want to see, and no candle loses its flame from lighting another. Peace, family.